How we doing, Jets fans? Glenn Naughton, Jet Nation Radio. Just wanted to do a quick Week 1 recap. As you know by now, Jets fell 19-14. Two biggest stories of the game, really. Uh, Mekhi Becton left the game in the third quarter with what was an apparent knee injury. He was rolled up on by a teammate and was seen, in quite a bit of pain, emotional, crying, the whole 9 yards, towel over the face as he left the field on a cart. Never a good sign. So we wait and, cautiously optimistic that the news isn't that bad, but I would assume he's going to miss at least some time, which of course would mean George Fant slides over to left tackle, Morgan Moses to right tackle. Which brings me to why wasn't Morgan Moses starting tonight? We talked about this leading up to the game. My expectation was he would start. Better player, better resume. I understand Fant moves better, but I suppose my expectation was that the Jets would want to establish the run early on, then let Zach Wilson work off of play action, rollouts, things like that. But unfortunately, the Jets just couldn't get anything going in the run game. Moses noted, considerably better option in the run game than Fant. The Jets went with Fant, and it was a complete disaster. The offensive line couldn't block anybody early on. Zach Wilson was getting chased, hit. He was getting beat up all night. But on the plus side, the kid didn't flinch, bounced back, made some big time throws in the pocket, especially late in the game. Hung in there, took some shots. Took him on the chin and he kept getting up, made some big throws. Couple touchdown throws to Corey Davis. The first on a rollout to the right, the second on from the red zone or in the red zone. Hit Davis with a defender in his hip pocket. So some good things out of Zach Wilson. Really, the biggest key to me was the improvement after the early struggles. You never know what you're going to get with a rookie kid coming out game one, especially coming out of a BYU type of program. First time seeing a true NFL defense. Zach Wilson comes out, starts the game 2 for 10, which was really worrying. And then he comes out from that point on. He completes 66% of his passes, and he goes 18 for 27 the rest of the way with a couple of touchdown passes. He throws one interception, which, as you would have heard during the broadcast, I believe it was Tiki Barber said he's got to put some more mustard on that ball over the middle with the defenders there. But if you look at the replay, and I'll look at it again, just having looked at it quickly in real time, and then one time on the replay, it did look to me as if Zach Wilson had an offensive lineman in his lap. Somebody I think it was McGovern. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Was getting pushed back into his lap. He didn't have the room to step into the throw, so it was kind of all arm and trying to throw around an offensive lineman and an oncoming defender. So he really didn't get a whole lot on the ball, and that's why it was picked off over the middle. Again, these things are going to happen. The kid's not going to be perfect anyway. Turnovers are going to happen. But the bottom line to me, the biggest takeaway is how much better the kid played once those first game jitters went away and the protection got a little bit better. So those are the two biggest storylines. That Zach Wilson, took a huge step in game one from really struggling to putting it together and getting the team back in the game. Who knows if he cleaned things up, one or two drives sooner, maybe it's a different outcome. But it is what it is. It's a loss. Wilson again, showed a lot of improvement. They lose Becton. Those are the two biggest stories. Jamie Sherwood left with an injury early on, and Delshon Phillips filled in for him and had career high 12 tackles. Blake Cashman, hamstring injury. He's got to stay healthy this year. I think he can survive one or two nicks and bumps and bruises, but if he starts seeing these, where he misses chunks and chunks and chunks of time, I think he'll be on borrowed time with the Jets. So the run game was disappointing. Couldn't get anything going. Tevin Coleman did nothing. Ty Johnson did nothing. Michael Carter did nothing. As a group, they averaged 2.6 a carry. Just really not very good. Corey Davis, though, very impressive debut, 5 for 97 and a couple of scores. Braxton Berrios had himself a decent day. And, one of my biggest questions, along with the Moses thing, is why wasn't Denzel Mims getting more targets? We didn't see him a whole lot early in the game. He got one target late in the game, picks up 40 yards, so not a bad job by him. And especially given the fact that Crowder and Cole were out for the game, we knew they were out. Figured we'd see we'd see 5-6 targets from Mims. We saw one, and it was a 40-yard gain, so not a bad job by him. John Franklin Myers flash looked really good. Foley Fatukasi was himself, with some run stuffs. He looked very good. The young linebackers, these guys, they got to learn. Again, Sherwood left early. Didn't hear Hamza Nasruddin's name called a whole lot. So we'll have to see, moving forward what happens with these guys. But all in all, again, a loss is unfortunate, but you have to love the fact that you saw the progress. You saw your number one wide receiver play like a number one wide receiver. You saw some production from the tight ends. Not a great deal, but Tyler Croft and Ryan Griffin, 3 catches each, combined for 48 yards. So, getting the tight ends involved in the offense, and that was something the Jets did to kind of get Zach Wilson settled when he was on that 2-for-10 run, when you saw him start to complete some passes. That's one thing I would give LaFleur credit for, is they started going with the short game with the tight ends, short, quick, safe throws, build Zach's confidence a little bit, and then kind of let him go from there. So we saw Wilson improve as the game went on. We saw Mims make a big play when he was given the opportunity. Who knows how many more of those come. We saw Corey Davis do a really nice job. Michael Carter on defense, Michael Carter II, did a really nice job. The young corners weren't really that bad. They weren't, even the Robbie Anderson, the deep ball from Sam, that was, you kind of could have counted on happening as a Jets fan. You knew that those two were going to hook up, and whether the game was won or lost, those guys were going to make a play at some point and make you kind of shake your head regardless of how you felt about them. But look, Robbie got on top of the safety, and with his speed, we know what happens. He smoked you, and that's what Robbie Anderson does, and that's why Joe Douglas said that it was a mistake to let him go. But listen, some injuries they have to deal with. Becton is the story moving forward. What do you do there? In terms of, that roster spot, you got to find some more depth behind those guys now. And, let's face it, at this point in the season, trying to find another guy who can play tackle. Again, but that's backup stuff. We'll cover that on the show on Jet Nation Radio this week. But that's it for now. Thanks for checking this out. We're going to do this weekly, see how we feel about it. And a good day for the kid. I'm coming away happy. It's a loss, but this offense looked better than functional. With the protection, pass protection, run blocking being shaky. So if AVT, this is his first NFL game. And we got to see the all 22. I'm not even saying he was a problem. I think it was more the tackles and Greg Van Roten in the middle. But again, no all 22 yet. That'll be in the coming days, and then we'll go over it on Jet Nation Radio. So be sure to tune in, Jet Nation Radio. Myself, Alex Varallo, Dylan Terraman will be breaking down the games, and be sure to check out jetnation.com for the most active Jets message board on the internet. Check out our forums. There, we're hitting over 1 million posters or 1 million hits per month on a regular basis. So you're not going to find a better place to talk Jets football on the web. And we'll catch you next week, hopefully talking about a Jets win. Take care, Jets fans.